And look, I noticed something. When it comes to us African Americans, when it comes to the FBA community, people hate when we bring up our history. Now, they can talk about their history all day long. They can talk about Anne Frank. They can talk about Abraham Lincoln. They can talk about all these people. But as soon as we bring up our history, they have a problem with it. They want us to shut up. But you guys sit back and think, on this internet, it's a lot of people that make money from our division. It's a lot of people that make money from our chaos. So to see us now, like things are starting to change. Like I say, we're not perfect. We'll probably never be perfect. But slowly I'm seeing things starting to change. We starting to speak up for each other. We start to support each other. We start to speak on our history. Like we're not just accepting what they're giving us. And I feel like right now, what's happening in California, especially with our people, it's a part of history. People will never forget it. So it's our responsibility to be there for our people. It's our responsibility to support our people, because a lot of those people, the generations in the 30s and the 40s, those people fought for us. And I was on TikTok and I saw this account, Frederick Joseph. He has a website called frederickjoseph.substack.com. And he writes these think pieces, he writes these articles, he writes these blogs about our people. He writes these blogs about, what's ever happened. He's covering it. So I'm gonna put a link to his website in my description, and I want y'all to go read it. We gonna read it in this video, but I'm not gonna read the whole thing. So when y'all go read it in the comment section on his website, I want y'all to tell him that Introvert Rockstar sent you. But let's get right into this article. Published January 12th, 2025. The Pain of Altadena Burning. The fight to preserve Black history amid California wildfires. The air was thick with smoke and grief, an unholy marriage that clung to the man's skin. And as he coughed, I knew it had filled with his lungs with something heavier than ash. This Black man had to be about 70 years old. And as he stood at the edge of what used to be his front yard, his chest heavying, his knees buckling beneath the weight of what he was seeing, the flames danced cruelly, mocking him, devouring the house, he said, his father had built with his hands, calloused by decades of labor, his soul calloused by decades of America's anti-Blackness. This was the house where his mother had taught him to read at the kitchen table. And look, I noticed something. It's never the house. When the house is destroyed, it's never really the house, the outside, the size of the house. It's never that. It's always the things inside the house that makes it a home. It's always about the trophies, the family pictures, the antique things, the things that was passed down from generation to generation. It's always the memories that really makes them hurt when their home is destroyed. So just imagine losing everything. Out the blue now, you see a fire and there's nothing you can do. Imagine right now that you lose everything that you ever owned. How would you feel? Because Altadena was more than a collection of streets and homes, it was a testament to what resilience can look like. Altadena's history is edged into the broader narrative of Black struggle and resilience in America, a place where hope flourished against the odds. Nestled in the foothills of the San Gabriel Mountains, Altadena became a beacon for Black families in the early 20th century, offering a rare promise of freedom and opportunity. It was not just a place to live. It was a sanctuary. We are here. We belong. And look, as I watch the news and I just hear them talking, I always trust my gut feeling. My gut feeling will never let me down. If this was real nature, my gut feeling would tell me that. But when I sit back and I look at where these fires hit, one fire start there while they talking, I'm like, wait, this not right. You telling me our people had, for the most part, they had these homes since the 1930s, 1940s, 50s, and 60s. All that time, it wasn't no fire that ruined their homes. But you go tell me today, instead of the fire, okay, you had a fire chief that said fires usually go uphill. These fires was going downhill. I'm like, wait, something not right. And then I go back to the Tulsa massacre, and you could look up all across America. It's a lot of massacres against our people done by them, done by Caucasian people that they never talk about. They never tell us in school. So I go back to the Tulsa massacre. I'm like, wait, even in Altadena, the churches are gone. The banks are gone. Everything is gone, just like Tulsa. And I told y'all before, I just learned about this like a few years ago. I saw a series on Netflix called Lovecraft Country. And that's why I had to learn about, the Tulsa massacre. I didn't learn about this in school. Nobody ever told me this. I had to learn about this by mistake. And see, that's what they don't want. That's why they can't really show you our community. That's why they can't show you the homes that our people bought in the 30s and the 40s and the 50s. They want you to think our people was always struggling. They never had, they barely had money. No, we had successful people, but they don't want you to see the success, because if you saw that at a young age, you like, damn, if they can do it, I can do it also. The 1940s and the 1950s saw the community flourish. Black families built homes, churches, and businesses, creating agriculture and economic ecosystem that sustained them in a world often intent on their exclusion. These decades were marked by a growing sense of pride and progress, with Altadena emerging as a hub for Black excellence. Churches like the historic Metropolitan Baptist Church, founded in 1943, were not just places of worship, but centers for activism and education, embodying the spirit of resistance that defined the era. And you telling me this is a coincidence? You telling me these people can send trillions of dollars to other countries, but when it comes to places like Altadena, you gonna tell us when a fire comes that the fire hydrants ran dry, that you don't have enough firefighters, that you have to use inmates to be firefighters. This is a whole setup. And not just that, the insurance companies pull out. So you telling me all these decades of fire never came. And then, like I say, you had a chief said, usually the fires go uphill. This time the fires was going downhill. So what does that tell you? We cannot afford to surrender Altadena to the fire, not this fire, nor the many others that smolder beneath it. For to lose Altadena is not simply to lose homes or histories. It is to lose a piece of ourselves, to forfeit the proof that something beautiful and enduring can rise from the worst of circumstances. This place and others like it are a map of what was and what could still be. And look, like I said, it's so amazing for different generations to be able to live in a home, for to have families that pass things down to you. That's a great feeling. And it's also a great feeling to know that we had people that fought for us. They moved, they migrated out of the South, they went to the West, and they made a life for themselves. And I'm just so mad that I'm learning about this, because I love to travel. I traveled all over this country, and I never knew that Altadena existed. And our people that first went there in the 1930s, they fought for us. They put their life on the line, literally for us, and they went there and built. So I think it's our responsibility to do the same thing for them. It's our responsibility to speak up for them, to not let this story die, to not let them just be out there by themselves and they think they don't have, they don't have people that have their backs. And they said most of the people that died in the fire in Altadena was elderly people. And at the time I saw it was 11 people, but now it's probably more. But they were saying that, the ambulance, those people wouldn't even try to go out there. They weren't even trying to help these people. And like I say, in America, nothing is a coincidence. I'm going to tell you that. You can go back and look at the history. Nothing is a coincidence. See, back in the history, they didn't have the internet, so people couldn't put, two and two together. But now we can see the Tulsa massacre, they did it on purpose and they moved on like it never happened. Now you can go to Oklahoma now, they have a museum. Now you have to pay. Check this out. You have to pay to go to a museum to see what they did to your people. You have to pay BlackRock, Ancestry.com to even find your people. You see what they do? And watch what they try to do with this. Watch what they try to do with Altadena. They go try to, build some museum and say, this is your history. No, we not having that. We not letting Altadena go. So like I said earlier, I put the link to his website in the description, and also has a GoFundMe, for the people that lost their homes and stuff like that. So if you want to donate, and I did my research to make sure he was legit, he's legit, so if you want to donate to those people, donate to them people, man, because you got to realize a lot of times when stuff like this happen, you really got to have people who have your back, man. I don't know if y'all ever been, homeless and you lose everything and you working check to check. I don't know if y'all know how that feel, and you lose everything. So they need us. They need our support. And the last thing I'm going to say is be thankful for what you have right now. If you have a 1-bedroom apartment that's 300 square foot, look, be thankful for what you have right now, because you can lose it at any moment. I'm out.